Dad, words aren't enough to express who you are to us, but you are more than a father to us. For 26 years, you've been both a father and a mother to us. You were always home to welcome us, and wherever we left you, made sure we are all enough to carry back home. You welcomed and loved our children unconditionally, even when it was not your responsibility. You could ask, have they cleared their school fees? And those who graduated from university, you encouraged them to further their studies. You knew, understood, and valued each of us. In your hospital bed, you held our hands tight and comforted us, saying, Nyasaye naro, we'll never forget you, Dad. Tata genda buya, ntwago wanchete otumoke buya, we'll miss you.
Today is a difficult day for all of us, as the family of Grandpa who are seated here. Today, I mourn my grandfather, but I also mourn a man who I called my dad. When I was looking at the eulogy, I saw Mom's name, and there was no dad beside it. But I've never felt the gap, because my grandfather stood in the gap for our family. Whatever I wanted, I went to him. When I needed to go to school, I went to him. If I needed a new dress, I went to him. If I needed a new shoe, I went to him. Today I mourn twice. I mourn for my grandfather, and I mourn for a person who I called my father. I know life will never be the same again. If tears could bring you back, Grandpa, I know you would be here with us. If money could bring you back, I know you would be here with us. But we rest knowing that you're in a good place. You are out of pain. You held our hands. You showed us our first home. This place has always been our home. I feel a huge void in my heart because of the things that you did for us. Looking down at this field, and I speak for my cousins who are seated here who might not get a chance. Every day when you came home, we knew you would come with a soda. You knew you would bring us bread. There is so much that you did for us. You ensured that we have this unity that you see here today. And when you passed on, I wrote a message to my Uncle Jack. And I told Uncle Jack, I hope we'll be okay. Because the gap that my grandfather held in our hearts will forever be left void. Thank you.
I'm not Keisha. I'm Jack. I'm here to speak on behalf of Keisha. I'm just going to say a few words for my grandfather. He watched many of us take our first steps. He taught many of us our first words. And he was there when we faced our first hurdles. In fact, he was there for most of our firsts growing up. Personally, he taught me so much, and I would like to share a few insights that would help illustrate what kind of grandpa he was. My earliest memories of grandpa were from the Christmas holidays, where he would bring us all together as he has now. He'd buy us sodas and tell intriguing stories about life, religion, and education. He was a man who believed that life should be lived with purpose, integrity, and honesty. His work ethics are one of the most inspiring qualities about him. He would often tell Bible stories and quote from the Bible, often from the top of his head. That is a testament to the kind of person and the kind of faith and dedication that he has for God. Again, he believed in the power of education and self-determination. Some of my older cousins mentioned that he would pinch their ears and tell them that the key to their future is education. He educated us on life, religion, and respect. While he's no longer here to say that he's proud of me, I'll carry his strength in my heart. His legacy will continue in his children, his grandchildren, and future generations. The kindest compliment I hope to hear someday is that your grandfather will be proud. Before I finish, I would like to quote from Thessalonians 4, verse 13 through 14. Brothers and sisters, we do not want you uninformed about those who sleep in death, so that you do not grieve like the rest of mankind, who have no hope. For we believe that Jesus died and rose again, and so believe that God will bring with Jesus those who have fallen asleep in him. Thank you so much for joining our family in celebrating the life of Grandpa Naftal Nyamongo, a man I call my grandfather.
One thing I will never forget about my grandfather is that he dressed sharp as a knife. He paired khakis and button-ups like no man's business. This isn't what I remember him for, though. He was more than just well-dressed. My grandfather is a big part of who I am today. He showed me the importance of seeking higher education and taught me to put God in everything. He is not gone, and his name will never be forgotten. Long live great-grandpa Sokoro Naftal Nyamongo. Thank you.
Ekeronko baramwe karansiteiga igongkorana gotago kwatata waikiranire. Ekerotu argo taranera na bante na chaki. Abagani bane no taita bacha wikaransa gaiga. Iwe tuami geto kamena shaba gani baya bonspi waikaransrege tieke. Karibu sana. Those of you have my father's eulogy, the program book, on the outside says a celebration of a life well lived. Yes, we are mourning our dad, but also we are celebrating him. Many of the testimonies that have been given here by the brothers and the sisters, the children, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, have demonstrated the life that he lived and the things that he taught them. So we celebrate that. The other thing that Dad was, he was a person in the medical field. I know he led me to go and do medicine. When I went to Form 5, I decided, because he had told me to go and take courses that will lead me to medicine, but when I reached there, I decided to go and do maths, physics, and chemistry. Then in second term, I wrote to him, I said, I'm doing maths, physics, and chemistry. He was not amused. So in third term, in Form 5, I had to change. I had to change my courses to include biology. So I ended up doing medicine like him. Ekero na ajete iga rimo erusa, tataka iwere clinic ngumbualia, na ajita kante na chaki na harosire, karaga ndangora mbuatera. Nkamubuatera, umotienyi oya omo, na arenge rusa. Adie clinic ya ngumbu. Abange bino abare ko chambare baje tororo, kero na arengororo. Nkabarora, nkabaeriogo, mono kamatero mongi nota wakana, mongi na karusia, arusia merongebere, onda musini, mono na musini bare korusi. Bono mobori na ki amusini echiorocho na ene riogeri cheisanire. Mate tata na chechi nabuate. Bono nchikurigire register ya na ndorona badi geta amusini kana okay. Bono rende kachibumbuata rende. Ege kona ariko boligo akota ariko kora mario ko Nairobi gonto marenge. Iko ni maeta mario ka archibesa ile ngari kuira. Ni manyeta archibesa ari kuira. Bese jinjere kuisana. Bwana karongo cha nyomba maragongo bona ki tata ibesa jiriga. Igarene ko nyorore kende na mario ka ari njiakana. Igare ko ante jaki nyasaye naro. Nyasaye naro. Igo manyo mogako yoto oyo tata bono togochiko gacha no muntu bwere ore kwerua muna abana bamwe bakwanire abana baye bakwanire nabantange ga bakwanire okorera abantu igore rota tomusike tomo gache asamasikani okura kuwane kwaye kwarenge asamasikani ekanisa no ere gaiga ne tutageteire programu enene ko eni tata asakia tata muntu wikanisa orenge na ndo munyagetari orenge igo abaminto ngo basaba tugaye tata oyo tokinirie asamasikani. Dad was not a big man. I mean by big, I mean by world standards. but he's a man, and I say this in Nairobi, he's a man who likes to greet people on the road, to talk to people. In one time when I remember when my mom passed, we were going up near Makerere there to say pole to someone who was bereaved. And we were walking up the hill because we went by a car and it could not go up the hill, so we walked up with him. And I was telling him, Dad, we want to buy you a car. Okay, Jack. Ugota getenkwe. Ekerongo taraiga, nkonyorande exercise, gomerando montoriko na mukwania. Tuagamba ama tukana abamange. Oine era tata. Tintati ko ira mange. Kiani matisa chairire. Tianya saba sesenie. Otoro gabu na bana wa na ncho mwana oyo monene. Na batata mokembara iga na makomoke. Ntubuate aneko yani muchio tata ogande gotenena ogande gosikwa ntogotaka bochaye bonde boso moso muchio tata ikero kine ngenda ko bate ibone kene iga ile tari tata ri gosikwenga kionsi tata munyaketari orenge asenge jaro munyaketari ankorere iga moroche mangana ya akongire bono kero monto je ge umege to monwa onyondo ranga soro te umege tio monu pake mioro mu barage ko mate veke kwende ya pake mioro tije mioro ti awano be no morandi tinda rondo ko korabo koraigo ntota ge tio montachi aseke ge nigia tata agende na garu arita aseke ge nigia tata moigwete ba minto muno muna tokote bikoruga na barai baito toigwere ekira yongo basaba eriagera tonso tokoruga iga togende torebuya. For those colleagues of ours who have been here, who have come, who may not be understanding this language, we want to welcome you and we appreciate you for coming to be with us. I know we have people from our workplaces who are here. And our friends who may not be understanding this language, we welcome you. We appreciate you being with us here. I know you have been with us from Nairobi. Those of you who have come from outside Nairobi who were not able to meet us in Nairobi, we hope we'll have opportunity to meet you. If we don't, because of the circumstances, we do appreciate your coming. Thank you very much, and may God bless you. Thank you.
Having gone through this eulogy, I think it is a challenge to you, Jack, and the entire family, that you have a legacy to keep and to nurture. I think as I've listened to a number of you speak, Mzee lived his full life, and he has touched many lives. While I was coming, I met Honorable Patrick Osero, and we were talking as we were coming over to the tent, and he was telling me that Mzee Dr. Naftal circumcised almost over 3,000 young boys. And you can imagine 3,000. So, I mean, he touched lives because he was the only doctor around. And as you can see, it is a legacy, a life well lived and to be celebrated. More often than not, I think this program is printed and a number of us forget to read what is in here. But I will want us to go to the second last page, is page 14, and sing that song. And County Commissioner, I think he will allow me to do that, and then I will sit. Number 632. My heart can sing when I pause to remember. Let us sing together. My heart can sing when I pause to remember. A heartache is but a stepping stone along a trail that winding always upward. This troubled world is not my final home, but until then my heart will go on singing. Until then, with joy I carry on. Until the day my eyes behold the city. Until the day God calls me home. The things of earth will dim and lose their value if we recall they borrowed for a while. And things of earth that cause the heart to tremble, remember they will only bring a smile. But until then, my heart will go on singing. Until then, with joy I carry on. Until the day my eyes behold the city. Until the day God calls me home. Thank you. Omario, waziri oito Moskemati yangi. No alega na ende mama ete nganero waziri tobwate gusiengima. Waziri na ende na mutoko andra goteba una tuatebire botambe. Una, we will stand by you, come rain, come sunshine. And we are very proud of you for what you've done. And it is written all over in the history of Kenya. All the ministries that you've gone into, you've changed them. So we will support you. Unoma gusina Kenya ngima, unagabura abantu baito momanyatenga amangana yo boibwe chombe na nyakora na ande na berenge gesakukia bagusi tomobwatesie gochimotwe na anda etotebi ngakiota ete elinde ntotobeke chibuti tolenge chisati tokolega sinto wanja boyo orokingo waziri Matiang'i nganto mwanjete kabisa buyamana na intubune government ya Nyamira ntubwatira no moskemo governor elinde kubakorere meremo nyasaba seni na ande familia ogosemeria wetaneti mbera buyamana sana. Thank you.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker, na najua pia area MCA amefika lakini muda umeyoyoma. Naomba nimuite mbunge wa Borabu Mheshimiwa Ben Momanyi naye aje atoe risala za rambirambi. Mheshimiwa, while you are away, tulikubaliana kwamba hapa leo ni kuomboleza tu. Kwa hivyo njoo karibu na useme pole zako. Mheshimiwa Ben Momanyi.
Na mimi nimefika hapa siku ya leo kuomboleza na familia ya mzee. Mzee kweli kwa anajulikana kila mahali. Tulikuwa tunamjua sisi wote. Mimi nimetoka ngambo jana. Kati nimefika tukaongea na waziri, tukaongea na mzee Manyaga na mimi nikasema lazima nifike hapa hata kama kwa uchovu kusudi tuone ya kwamba tuani iliyo mwaka na maskani. CS perhaps what you may not know, mwaka one yango yane kurwa alibunyunyu. Mwaka wa Manyaga Bones, chine chango chiane. Yono nye county commissioner atare ondebia. Are ontwara okora siasa kiane bironde biomo yango yane. Iko tumekuja tu kuomboleza na kusema pole sana kwa familia. Tuko na nyinyi, tutasimama na nyinyi. Itinde paka to make sure kwamba tuko hapa siku ya leo paka ibiriro byomogaka byere na maskani. We know it's a very painful moment for the family. Hata tukiongea mingi siku ya leo, familia iko na uwa mwingi na ndemba kuigumana mange to kwa nitukulia leo. Kwa hivyo pole, sisi tuko pamoja na tutaendelea kwenda mbele. Hata kama vile county commissioner amesema, waziri vile speaker amesema, pia sisi wote tunakupongeza. Endelea na kazi yako kwenda mbele, pale juu tutakusaidia kabisa. Mambo mengine chini hapa wachana nayo. haya chini pande hii niachie, hii nitafanya peke yangu hapa chini. Kwa hiyo machache, asanti tiganya sawe na inwe erinde tokoro moyo bo mwaka bya anda sema ko genda munyumache maya nigende kemo gutigia chireke gya boroiro. It is real, tuchunge to social distance murakia bere nabonoga to bronge egere onde tarwa na gento kende ego moekere barabu ego mbuyamore barabu ga ebwate kromondo na sisi tuko sawa. Thank you. Smoko enda mwirane bia Chemben Momanyi MP ya Barabu Gaiga Nyamira County. Thank you and may God bless you. Thank you so much.
Asante sana Commissioner Ben Momanyi.
We have come here today to celebrate the life of a great man, a really great man. A good tree is known by its fruits. You can see the fruits by yourselves. On my own behalf, as a person, as a governor, I will come also here on behalf of my late father and my family and the people of Nyamira. Mzee Naftal Nyamongo happens to have been a great friend to my father. My father and Naftal Nyamongo were the first clinical officers in this region, and they were such big friends till at one time they stayed continuously in one house when they were nurses for 10 years. So I'm here as a great friend of this family and as a great member of the family. Because of time, I won't go far. It's only to say that we are here to bless and pray God to keep those he left behind to be strong and to keep the faith. And also pray for the bigger family to be united as before. They have shown us an example which we all of us emulate. Wherever he has gone, we believe he is in heaven. Rest him, rest in peace, and the people he has left behind also be peaceful. Thank you.
Abantu baminto nonyetore sama we na wakwani bwakire mbuye muri mwenzi mbuye muri naende and we are Jack, my brother Isaac, ne family yomwako minto we tuacha koheni gaiga o family yomwaka Nyamongo na abantu bomwaka Nyamongo momanyite we are essentially family for into na tuakina iga igotole ne family yamo omugako oyo njena amoroji kuruna ringo mwana kera ringo munyagitari che bingombe eri ntaraja kumanyanga Nyasaye nache ko banga mweri oye tuche ko ba close kabireye kalingo musani omonene utata nende buno manena ko banga tukajitoka abasani abanene sana abantu mbamanyite, and I'm not shy to say this in public, that one of my closest friends on this earth is Isaac Nyamongo. Nere toko ba nere botambe bintu bindi byo toko nere toko ko mona Isaac, and on this toko ita Isaac and I tonga brothers, we are always together. Na Jack na tole nere ga as our elder brother nere toko consult na baka wana ba tolera iga na botu akina iga inyo letenga kiemo story na batebi no nyemba bo Isaac. One time kana liko colleagues Nairobi University nkobeke ga ya maguta etaoni njije na ngende Nairobi tse jamo gasoiga ngatie ga likegoire ngende tukemekuriye change ngojugera na gojanga nyoro mwaka Nyamongo na karanste ga lime agantebinga bono togenda Nyabururu ga njikoro yangu ya Isakero nendeli Nairobi na aliko genda ngaonjuka igorende ngagenda tokaganere Nyabururu. I've even forgotten which one of Isaac's uncles was staying there. Kada toiko nanda kanganyo maitarbiese ya maskani kobere galime tole nyomba togenda nyomba twins kana kunyo chaega abungo kwara no mwako yo togokora. Long story short, omweli edinje Nairobi litukelio and I ended up koraraga. But I did that with a lot of pleasure because omwaka Nyamongo in every sense of the word was my father. Nekero mwako mintararite no watu atigarite amaboko ya bagakaba uno mwaka Nyamongo. Abantu baminto Omagakoyo, to summarize everything, everything about the life yo Mwaga Nyamongo was a statement in decency. Yani umuntu le decent umuntu muya na inengo za banyasaye ga kia tokonye tutwale chinkorobne yo Mwagakoyo. Enkole very sincere and genuine. Kosa wono tali boygo. Abalingigo, genta ko tebi na bokirigo. Na tu akina kwa gaji gatole na isa kaigango. Na ninya saga jaga tokonya karo to kina to uko nyoma. Murugio Isaka, Dr. Mary amuyusu Nyamongora, no murugio ne Linet tolenera togaja monene to kanyoma mo togawa wasani mo na wana to jagora na into wana mo na twale tuamo. So tuabere amo iga gocha gocha buna to na kogenda kwa gachi. Gendongere jaki ateba Nairobi. Ditwale ngora so sabariji mo gakarara. Nga akigori ekigito abantu bandi buna toliga. We have lived basically because of the faith of our fathers. Kigara bagaka baito bato kineti twajitega ekanisa ya SDA gare ajagete settlement. Mwaka na Vitali Oroko, mwaka Nyamongo, mwaka Ngima, mwaka Minto, na bawa pastor Muchama, na bawa bantu barenga bosio ezo ojage kanisa ya SDA. Na bawa pastor Nchio ga igorali. Abagaka babonsi pi again tobato tigeire. Nendezo okorro boyene until recently, I have to be frank with you bantu baminto. I couldn't tell you for the life of me ngoruete nyombaki mangana mnaita alengoro. In fact, ina manye tenga kitore related na Jack na Isaka until the other day. Because in general kwa ngatora banta ba mutwenzipi. I couldn't tell you about the nyomba ngokaruete sakaruete and so on and so forth. Asengenja wakaka abato begetamo na ende begene tenya sai na ende bato kiniti ngenche kabiri. Ege ntongo sawaneke. A challenge yen na tobwate twenzi buna tole gaiga. Especially abantu bali beke goli kikiane. Eke goli kerebo sigoito endu yanega Jack nero mumuno minto manene. Babo paminazio yokwa na iga. Babo Professor Ngima, babo Samson Getui, babo ya besbichanga na morra iga wailego, maite sagenda. Oyo. Grupu eye inumore bosibwaito. Abagaka aba oba aborogeti step na into bakamanya otoro kitobabwati. Tata igari gonte binga oise kobo monto muyabuna Jack Nyamongo gose Samson Getui gozobwe kane paminazi oroko igo kwabiru monto muya. Akini mutu ko sareka obegende ke aiga bono kwabiri gente ke ao. So I kept living in this style ninga kaninje wikeraji standard Jack Nyamongo Samson Getui na paminazi na ba Professor Ngima buna tata le gontebi. So bono monene otoikiria chisabali chibogi mubona bachiriga. Abagaka bayiboli bayito barari. Ange basically abagaka babonsi ipi barari. Egurube bato tigire bono. Ni ili Jack wato tebi Nairobi about the faith of our fathers. Ntoke endreli yubogi mobo na into tokini abana baito kiagara egazia bayiboli baito gera abene ngenjo ekero barorire abaichokoro babo na abachokororia bagororokire na barabo baberire kanisa bagendire buna bayiboli baito bato igigete engenche kabire. Igono nye twacharero nobo maene buna Jack yateba oborombororo lakini ekero okororo Mugakoyo bogima amenyete chinga kichonzi kwale ukaranza no Mugakoyo. Omwaka Nyamongo, the entirety of his life was a statement in decency. Nto iki gose standard yiyo nyasaye nato iki standard yiyo tobe decent buno Mugakoyo. Bantu babwato bwanjani bwekene. Tigato sabe nyasaye ato agate twins. Tutu aro bwanjani obo. Abala iba minto molega. Tutu aro bwanjani twanchane. Nyasaye gato betega tokolera abantu baitemeremo engakie tobwateli bageri. Na libagandi kobe miaka 11 libageri kobe ngakigete kigwango gete toke ani bintu bigo toetania elinde tobe ko bwanjani no bomo toke ndi abantu baito bosio. Jack na Isaac, I have messages from so many people. Inuna abantu mumanyekane ndera abantu no mo kolegas ni ndi buna abantu babasigete because of your integrity. Bantu baito bonzi pibe serikali asked me to say pole to all of you. In fact, Yesterday, when I failed to come to the church service, because usually we have to have a cabinet committee meeting briefly before we do that. Then he could vaguely remember you, Jack, when you were at the blood transfusion place. I can't 500,000, which I will give you to the family. Now I call him in Serikali bonds. Mo PS Yoito, PS Ministry of Health Susan Mochache, Mo Solicitor General Kenny Ogeto, Mo PS Yoito Marwa, Mo Akoli Assistant Minister Chris Obure, no Mo Assistant Minister Itoyo Moya Okorukwayeko. Once he beat, they asked me to say Paul to you as a family. Probably I think Nawala has going to Nairobi, but they requested me to Paul on their behalf to the entire family. You know, only twins Yamo. Nabakoli Menove Serikali bonds no Balega. Monyakero Wakoli Menove Serikali Bagusibons, Moses Nyakiongora Nara, no NRA on behalf of civil servants, Wakuru Nyamira Nakisi, the senior ones, no Tora twins. Now I they are quite the number who are in this audience. Go to Ajaga to pray with you and to thank the Lord with you for the wonderful, exemplary, unparalleled life of this our Father, whom we are seeing away today. Tokole toko sabanga nyasa tokonye manena tolera mavera na into matuka alitora vera sense tole moyo tojigo tigerieta kose tujo tigo mofano kose example kia uno mugakoyo kia robo kimabu mugakoyo ni reso ni enene kene nkiyo kwale ukaranza no mugakoyo tago tebi uno mugakoyo aba na into Nairobi matuka mange no onye ni into isaka can bear me out mugakoyo ikakabe dictionary agusi okujiko mobolio mondo okotebi mpaka 2 generations behind ngo imuzi ntobongubo ongubo olio lengo rukuchabini olengo senga kibinto ndanya kufuata no ninja lakini ama ndaba bange okani ano tali abu abutojo koraigo mojiko ganda go mwajiko salia oyirane noyo and so on bono advice eli ndoko enyora physically kiaro makatai lakini we believe tadio mananya sai wetera somo ikomo chenu nagendere gotora na inagendere goto comfort na toa wakongu tokole memo ya manene nkolerega nimanye liba kandi goja kutoka babwata nimbara be kanise goroku Karen Community Church. Karen Community Church ne zeisa karo mulisia no omwaka Nyamongo no to saba komo kala jize Nairobi kala talenga na halinga Karen Community Church ne kanise elia omwaka gachitaka babuna grandfather yakiro mwane kanise eli kianere bwe ko jobo tambe na ndase ngenje buna maito mwaka ali friendly nabantu kiro monto galenge buna nero lengese aba bafuasi bali bakari ni community barabonzi kwa niaba ya ino Isaac, we are with you on behalf of that church so sabatwenzi no mwaka na magana mange twalo kwa nase ngenje chiza chabere jinke mwaka gaje Nairobi. I was telling Isaac Kinga mwaka gaje Nairobi akatwale community yae abantu bano eni zakata manyiti akonyole para ali bakwana na masikani kero mwaka arara ba kujuligisa kabaka matengo mwaka komino no muntu bo kumya umuntu muya ogotokwanye para abuntu to tamaite no into tamaite ni to benya doro Nairobi asengenjo mwaka Nyamongo no muntu lenge bo kumya nyasabe geteka tie ito naenda kali bakali abene gotokimia ntubu na bana na gotworokera libuna tokomenya abantu baminto nyasaba seseni nende twege no manne nyasaye samagi maito nende twerue tosabere omwana oyo minto Jack ne family yabo nabande elinde kende gyonzi na keba totigarezi nyasaye ese kanisa ese keriri kya Yesu Kristo eso mogako oyo minta totigire elinde sabali obugimoboto yegende na into toje wekesto go yikera abana baito no barobo bwati kuruororo kuna bayiboli baito batwegeri omwana nabaseni abantu baminto nyasabe nainwe na mokwani abantu baminto mokogenda jinka mbuya mono.
Mnasemaje watu wa Mungu?
Yerusalemu nomochetwa roseliwe setora menye buna bamalaika bororo gwense na makweli mbiko bao amaligata ko baono nyangake monene nere oratatinya mariga Yerusalemu nomochetwa roseliwe setora menye buna bamalaika bororo gwense na makweli mbiko bao amaligata ko baono nyangake bato iruruke Totu matume Bunachimori tingare Ase ase tota moterinde Toria matunda Yomote wobo gima Aso wobui Natotere osana Nato bekerwe Chimba bato iruruke Totu matume Bunachimori tingare Ase ase tota moterinde Toria matunda Yomote wobo gima Aso wobui Natotere osana Simo ichana inose chinkoro chenu Yesa gatebya abaroki wabaye Nyomba ya tata nere nobo menyo bonge Jeko gendane kubarose lyase Elyo ni chiche mbaile moti moke Simo ichana inose chinkoro chenu Yesa gatebya abaroki wabaye Nyomba ya tata nere nobo menyo bonge Jeko gendane kubarose lyase Elyo ni chiche mbaile moti moke Nato bekerwe chimba bato iruruke Totu matume bunachimori chingare Ase ase tota moterinde Toria matunda yomote wobo gima Aso wobui natotere osana Nato bekerwe chimba bato iruruke Totu matume bunachimori chingare Ase ase tota moterinde Toria matunda yomote wobo gima Aso wobui natotere osana Obororobo namarigato kolera Ebi nigobire nechinga kichike Sema megia egetulerige kobuga Vale chimbera vachenumba bokiwe Toe wo wanene tobo iwo wotakwa Obororobo namarigato kolera Ebi nigobire nechinga kichike Sema mengia egetulerige kobuga Vale chimbera vachenumba bokiwe Toe wo wanene tobo iwo wotakwa Nato bekerwe chimba bato iruruke Totu matume bunachimori chingare Ase ase tota moterinde Toria matunda yomote wobo gima Aso wobui natotere osana Nato bekerwe chimba bato iruruke